So up to here, you got familiar with 3D modeling in here, and understood that each role has to do something in BIM, and understood that project is not just shape, and it has cost, time, and operation and maintenance. So actually, in this part, we're gonna go for higher dimensions of BIM. I mean 4D, 50, and 70. I want to check them. I want to see the responsibilities of BIM manager for them. Before beginning, let me just talk about them in brief in here. So, BIM modeler should have a basic knowing about them because it has to enter the basic information of each element, for example, the time of analyzation or basic information of the costs. So, BIM coordinators should be aware of that. So, and it has to prepare the model for integration with scheduling and cost tools. But BIM manager should have complete knowing about that and it, because actually suggestion of the proper solutions, actually quality control and integration, and actually final delivery will be by BIM manager. So fourth, I mentioned BIM, I mean model plus time or schedule. That is construction during the time completely will be visible. So in traditional projects, schedule was done based on MSP, and the 3D modeling was done by Revit or Navisworks. So actually, the model and schedule were separated from each other. I mean, if the schedule was changed, the model was not updated, and vice versa. Opposite of that, if the model was changed, the schedule was not informed. So what fourth dimension did for us was the connection between them. I mean, each element in model, like column, wall, duct, or anything else, has a start and end point. So actually, and after that, we can just see the project like a movie, and that we want to see what will be constructed first. Has the system that should be done before a roof got done or not for two different teams? For example, do they have any kind of interferences with each other or not? So fourth dimension is like checking the future, the project before construction. So right now, let's go for BIM manager in fourth dimension. So BIM manager should define the actually schedule structure of the project. WBS, or work breakdown structures, means breaking the project into different parts for management. In fact, projects will be divided into different items. Let's assume that we are just constructing a very usual building. So at first, we should define the project to the highest level in the name of building, and we can say this building has got divided into different parts, so we have to divide them into different levels or stories. So when we go through every story, we have to do some actually execution activities. The first one actually will be excavation and preparing the site, and after that we'll go for foundation. After that we'll go for actually structure, and structure has a lot of items like columns, slabs, beams, and other ones. After structure, we'll go for walls, mechanical actually systems, and after that, we'll go for finishing works such as plastering, tiling, and wall painting. So in fact, the project will be divided into different parts that we can have really good schedule for that. So the next item will be specifying the time data entry standard in BEP, where it has to get sure that the model is ready to be linked with time schedule. So it has to be coordinated and matched with project planner. It has to check by modeler that the elements of the model should have time or schedule parameters, and review for these simulations, and it has to actually analyze the delay scenarios. So, and finally, it has to prepare and give the reports, visual report, of course, to a manager of the project. So BIM manager is responsible that model and actually we can say reality or schedule should be always aligned. So actually the fifth dimension will be model plus time plus cost in BIM. I mean, project about the cost and time must be controlled simultaneously. So in traditional way, actually, we can say quantity surveying and cost estimation are done manually, and the human errors are frequent. For example, if we delete a wall, again, the quantity surveying must be done again, and actually the effect of costs will be aligned. So The quantity of materials comes directly from the model. The costs are linked. Any design changes immediately update the cost. For example, flooring is changed from stone to ceramics. So in traditional way, it takes some days that the new costs will be actually updated. But in fifth dimension, the shortest time, actually the cost, material and transportation and installation labor costs will be updated. So actually, BIM Manager in this dimension should design the cost breakdown structure, or CBS. CBS actually is like WBS, but it's special for cost. I mean, the project will be divided into controllable parts. For example, we have a kind of construction project. I want to see how the costs will be divided. So the first level will be all of the costs of the project. I mean, the total project cost that we need for actually a project. The second level will be categories. The costs will be divided into different parts, like a structure, architecture, mechanic, and, for example, site. The third one will be items. So we'll just go through the details of the items, and they will be divided into them. For example, structure includes actually foundation, concrete or steel structure. Architecture will be for floors, cabinets, or other things. And mechanic will be for example, ventilation systems, pipe routes and other ones. And counter yard or site will be for flooring, exterior, landscape. And every cost that we have in the project will be completely clear that it is related to each part, and we can check them and we can control it well. So in continuation, BIM Manager in this dimension should define what financial information should every element have. It has to actually define the financial parameters in BEP. It has to be matched with quantity surveying engineering team. It has to get sure that the model has capability to extract the accurate quantity takeoffs, and also it has to analyze the financial scenarios of design changes. In summary, we can say that the BIM Manager should ensure that any change in the project quickly and accurately reflects the financial impact, we can say. So we'll go for seventh dimension, life cycle and operations. So this dimension will start at the time that the building has been constructed and is delivered to the client. So the goal is that actually the goal is to ensure that the building is maintained better and at lower cost throughout the lifetime. So now let's check that what information needs to be saved in this dimension. Like, for example, the instruction for maintenance, the actually date of the service, the time of replacements, and warranty information linked to assets. And for example, the information of the model, like model, serial, and capacity. In the seventh dimension, it will be exactly placed inside model. For example, the chillers need servicing in a month, and the system automatically alerts us so that we can plan accordingly. So we'll go for the role of BIM Manager in this dimension, that actually it has to extract FM requirements from employers' information requirements. I mean, for example, a client will tell us that what kind of information we need for actually maintenance of the building. When it obtains the information from EIR, actually after that it will just define those necessities inside BEP, that the modeler will enter them into actually the models. So the next one is actually coordinated with FM team and contractors. Actually, it has to just deliver the model like FM ready, and actually it has to verify accuracy of all equipment and performance data. And our goal from this dimension is that the building after construction is maintained well. So actually the fourth dimension, time, has a goal to prevent delay, that the role of the BIM Manager is linking the model to the program and controlling the simulation. So fifth dimension, that is cost, has a role that is budget management as an estimation, that BIM Manager actually should control the structure of the cost estimation. So seventh dimension is operations, has a goal that is reduce lifecycle costs, and the BIM Manager role will be creating FM ready model, manage equipment data, enable long-term maintenance.